Evening, you're watching 7 at 7, the only news bulletin where we curate the day's top 7 stories. All right, beginning with the latest political developments from Rajasthan. What there is no end to the pilot versus Gehlot war of words. Rajasthan Chief Minister has made it very personal with a direct attack at his former deputy. Gehlot accused pilot of not just being ambitious but also hit a new low by calling him Nikamma and Nekara and useless and inefficient. This as Congress MLA from Rajasthan Giriraj Singh Malinga alleged that pilot had offered him money to join the Bharatiya Janata Party. Pilot meanwhile hit back, saying allegations being levelled against him were meant to malign him and to stifle legitimate concerns he had raised about the party's state leadership. Pilot went ahead and stated that he will initiate the strictest possible legal action against the MLA who has made allegations that pilot tried to bribe him to leave the party.
7 साल के अंदर एकमात्र राजस्थान हिंदुस्तान के अंदर राज्य होगा जब प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के अध्यक्ष को बदलने की मांग नहीं करी, ना सीनियर ने ना जूनियर ने। एक छोटी खबर नहीं पड़ी हुई किसी ने कि पायलट साहब को हटाना चाहिए प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी अध्यक्ष से। हम जानते थे कि निकम्मा है, नाकारा है, कुछ काम नहीं कर रहा है, खाली लोगों को लड़वा रहा है।
All right, so all of this on the sidelines, it's gotten highly personal, it's gotten highly derogatory where the exchange has come. Meanwhile, hearing is underway in the Rajasthan High Court on Congress rebel Sachin Pilot's plea against Speaker's disqualification notice. The Speaker's counsel, represented by Congress leader and lawyer Abhishek Manu Singhvi, was arguing that it is wrong to hold the Speaker's whip invalid. Singhvi argued that the power of the Speaker has been upheld in the past Supreme Court judgments when it comes to disqualification of legislators. Opposing the pilot camp argument on freedom to dissent, Singhvi had said that freedom of speech is not absolute, with support of 2 Bharatiya Tribal Party MLAs. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot maintains that his government is in majority, with support of 102 MLAs, one more than the desired magic figure of 101. The Gehlot government may opt now for a trust vote depending on what the High Court rules.
So can it be presumed that the Rajasthan High Court will be deciding upon this matter before that timeline?
See, as far as timeline is concerned, it was extended from Friday to today, and in case the arguments are not been concluded for some reason, and since the time given to is till tomorrow 5:30, court may sit tomorrow and conclude the argument and pass some order.
One last question, sir. Can Harish Salve and Mukul Rohatgi once again, indulge in a rejoinder as far as the pilot camp is concerned?
Yes, see, they have their right to argue on the rejoinder. They have argued on their petition, reply, we are arguing it, and on the rejoinder, it's their prerogative and subject to the indulgence given by the court.
Well, that was Pratik Kasliwal clearly mentioning that Harish Salve and Mukul Rohatgi can get into a rejoinder from the pilot camps is concerned. But for the time being, Abhishek Manu Singhvi has already argued the case of the Rajasthan government, and the Chief Whip Mahesh Joshi and his counsel are yet to put forth their arguments in the Rajasthan High Court. With Nikhil Sharma, Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur, India Today.
I'd like to connect right now to my colleague Devankur, who's joining us right outside the Rajasthan High Court. Well, the hearing is now adjourned for tomorrow. Dev, the way it's all panning out, personal attacks on the outside, we've seen a new law in terms of language with the words Nikamma, Nakara, useless, inefficient being used. But inside is where the real deal is on what happens in court. But things will seem to culminate tomorrow, Dev, because the Speaker has also given the 5:30 p.m. deadline, and hopefully we'll see some conclusion in court.
Well, you're quite right, Preeti. The kind of, low-level politics one witnessed in Rajasthan, and that too from the Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot's side, is something which one has never ever witnessed, given the kind of image that Gehlot has portrayed till date. Now, as far as the court proceedings are concerned, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, representing the Rajasthan government, maintained that the entire petition by Sachin Pilot and his rebel MLAs is untenable, that it is not maintainable in Rajasthan High Court because the matter went to the Rajasthan Assembly Speaker and it was up to him to decide the matter. Harish Salve, arguing on the part of Pilot and his other rebel MLAs, maintained that that the entire act of issuing notices to these MLAs was undemocratic, that pilot was exercising his freedom of speech by mentioning that he had certain problems with the leadership in Rajasthan, its autocratic and corrupt ways, and wanted to bring all of that to the central high command or the central leadership. Now, how things pan out tomorrow, because the hearing will start, Preeti, at 10:30 Tuesday morning, is something will be interesting to watch out for. But clearly both sides have been hitting out at each other and are not willing to relent in this political saga, which is getting murkier by the hour. Preeti?
I'd appreciate you joining us, Dev, for that quick update. So the action now shifts to tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see some kind of legal conclusion. The speaker on his account, CP Joshi, has given a deadline of 5:30 p.m. in the evening, which, if you remember, the deadline was to respond to why 18 plus pilot MLAs should not be disqualified from the party. We're going to keep getting you the latest, but there is a sidetrack to the story, which is extremely interesting, and it's developing as we speak. Omar Abdullah has now lashed out at Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. Why? Over his claims that Rajasthan crisis unraveled after the release of Omar and Farooq from preventive detention. In a statement, National Conference rejected the claims as politically motivated statements to defame Omar Abdullah. The statement added that appropriate legal action will be initiated against Baghel over his claim. All of this, to give our viewers perspective of those who don't know the back-end story to it, is that Sachin Pilot is in fact married to the sister of Omar Abdullah, daughter of Farooq Abdullah, Sara Abdullah. And that is possibly the role of Omar Abdullah and Farooq Abdullah that has been brought into it. But this story developing on the sidelines. Meanwhile, in the midst of COVID woes, Assam is facing the flood fury again, year after year. This time, the flood waters have not receded, and the rising water level of Brahmaputra is a huge cause for concern, already displacing thousands of people and have killed over 100 animals. People are now moving to relief camps for survival. Take a look at this report.
Roads cut off, agricultural land submerged, tens of thousands of homes underwater. Assam's flood woes are unending.
This is not a lake or a pond, but this is an agricultural land area just 25 kilometers from the capital city, Guwahati, in Kamrup district. The Rajabadi looks like a submerged, totally submerged. So the farming land, the commercial area, the brick land, and also the residential places are completely submerged.
These villagers from Rajabadi village are among more than 3.5 million people in 26 districts who have been forced to shift to relief camps.
कितना मुश्किल है आप लोगों के लिए इस समय सिचुएशन?
बहुत मुश्किल है। इसमें अब हम लोग का रास्ता नहीं है ना, घर में पूरा इतना जल हो गया, कैसे रहेगा अभी?
तो कैसे लेके जाते हैं बच्चों को?
नौका से चलता है, हम लोग चला अपने नौका से करता है। डर लग रहा है तो अब बहुत डर लग रहा है।
आपका घर कहाँ था पहले?
हमारा घर उधर है, जंगल के पास, वो घास के नीचे है। तो यहाँ पर हम लोग पानी उठाए, घर में नाव सो नहीं है, तो हम लोग यहाँ पर आके सहाय मिला, रह रहा है।
कितने दिन आप रहेंगे ऐसे यहाँ पे?
अभी जितना दिन पानी नहीं कमेगा, सूखेगा, तो इतना दिन रहने पड़ेगा।
With their villages inundated and belongings lost, they are now completely dependent on the government.
आज तो पानी कमती नहीं हो रहा है, थोड़ा रुका हुआ है। अगर इसका बाद और ज्यादा आएगा तो और पानी आएगा तो और मुश्किल बढ़ जाएगा। आदमी यहाँ खाने का पानी के लिए बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ है, और कोरोना का वजह से आपको धरिए कोई भी सब यहाँ का गरीब आदमी, खेती बाड़ी करने वाला आदमी, तो वो लोग कोई काम पे नहीं जा पा रहा है, उसमें बाढ़ आ गया तो वो लोग का हालत बहुत सारा खराब है।
It's not just humans who have suffered. In the Kaziranga National Park, many wild animals, including 9 rhinos, have died so far due to the floods.
Around 108 animals so far died. That includes 9 number of rhino toos and 136 number of animal we so far rescued it. And this death case may increase because water level is receding. So we are doing the survey of all the areas.
Year after year, it's the same story being repeated in Assam. The floods come, the poor lose everything. Once the water recedes, they return to somehow rebuild their homes.
This woman and the child, they are in the water because they need to go to market to bring their daily household and whatever they require for the daily survival. But this situation in Assam comes every year due to rising level of Brahmaputra. The life comes for standstill for almost 3 to 4 months during the rainy season. As far as relief is concerned, government does provide, but this is called life and their struggle in the state of Assam when monsoon hits its state and rain makes life difficult.
With Ashutosh Mishra in Assam, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, there's no end to the misery of the people of Bihar. As we just showed you that report, floods have only added to more woes. Mind you, this is a state in the grips of a pandemic, which is extracting one of the worst tolls in this state. Many rivers, meanwhile, in the state are overflowing above the danger mark, affecting thousands of people. Year after year, the same story repeats. Here's more.
Bihar is reeling under severe floods. Almost all rivers are in spate due to incessant rainfall in the Himalayas. Swollen rivers have submerged hundreds of villages across the state, leaving thousands affected. With water all around, people from villages in Darbhanga are walking in search of higher ground. More than 50 families have taken shelter near the railway track.
यहाँ पर कम से कम 50 परिवार है यहाँ पर।
अच्छा, सब लोग यहाँ पर आ गए हैं।
जी हाँ।
क्या लग रहा है यहाँ पर सुरक्षित हैं आप लोग?
सुरक्षित तो नहीं है, फिर भी जान बचाने के लिए
कोई अधिकारी आया है मिलने के लिए?
नहीं अभी कोई नहीं आया है।
यहाँ कोई सरपंच, कोई मुखिया, कोई दिखने वाले नहीं है। कहाँ हम लोग को जो है का माल जाल के लेके रोड पर है, हम लोग कहाँ पर खाएंगे, कहाँ पर पिएंगे, कुछ उसका कोई चीज नहीं है।
This is Darbhanga's largest hospital, now underwater after heavy overnight rainfall. Relatives of the patients have to wade through knee-deep water to come to the hospital.
तो पानी निकालने का कोई सुविधा?
सब बोरी जाम किए हुए, सब सफाई कोई गर्मी नहीं करने चाहता। नगर निगम का कोई देखने वाला नहीं है।
अस्पताल प्रशासन क्या कर रहा है?
बैठे हुए चुपचाप बैठे हुए।
The situation in Saharsa is not different.
The place where I am standing at this point of time is not a river or a lake, but this is a stretch of road that connects the Supaul district with Saharsa, and this is the condition of this road here. You can see massive potholes that has happened on this stretch of road because of a flood and incessant rain situation which is prevailing in entire North Bihar.
हालत तो वही है जो मतलब उम्मीद नहीं है जो घर पहुंचेंगे या जहां जा रहे हैं वहां पहुंच जाएंगे, ये उम्मीदें नहीं है। यहां से लेकर के शहर बाजार तक कोई उम्मीद नहीं है जो हम पहुंचेंगे कि नहीं पहुंचेंगे।
नाली का पानी आ रहा है।
In Kishanganj district, locals say the state government has not provided much help.
घुटना भर हम लोग के आज घरों के अंदर में पानी है, इसको आज तक कोई निवारण नहीं कर पाया। हम लोग इसके पहले डीएम साहब को अर्जी दी है, म्युनिसिपैलिटी में हम लोग अर्जी दी है, लेकिन आज तक इसका कोई निवारण नहीं हुआ है।
नाला का इतना प्रॉब्लम, नाला का पानी हमारे घर के अंदर में घुस रहा है। हम लोग दो दिन खाना नहीं खाए हैं, ऐसा परिस्थिति हो गया है।
India Today accessed satellite images of rivers in Bihar: Kosi, Ganga, Burhi, Gandak and Bagmati. The images clearly show how the rivers and streams that feed them have widened compared with last month. The biggest rise in water is seen in Kosi River. The lack of preparations in Bihar, given that floods have become an annual feature, cannot be fathomed. People are helpless and the government seems listless. With Ankit Kumar in Delhi and Rohit Singh in Saharsa, Bureau Report, India Today.
Colleague Rohit Singh is joining me right now from Saharsa. Rohit, you know, the fact is Bihar right now is in the grips of a pandemic and completely inundated. It's double whammy of the sorts for the state. Can you give us perspective on this place where you are? What have you witnessed, especially when you try to balance the toll that the pandemic is taking and already a state in the midst of a massive flood?
Well, absolutely, Preeti. There has been like a COVID explosion that has taken place in Bihar in the last 2 weeks or so. The number of cases has now risen above 27,000 mark. And the other side of the story is that amidst COVID crisis, you have this massive flood which has hit almost a dozen of districts in the state. All the major rivers of the state are in full spate at this point of time. It's overflowing. And I'm in Saharsa at this point of time. And the Kosi River, as you were mentioning in the story also, it's completely in spate. And the water has entered several villages in and around located in and around the Kosi river bed, and thousands of people have been displaced. So it's a double trouble for the people of the state. On the one hand, you have to save your life from the pandemic, you have to remain on the alert, maintain social distancing, all those things. And on the other hand, you have the flood which has hit the state, and you have to protect yourself from flood also. So it's a double trouble, not only for the people of the state, but it's posed a massive challenge also for the Nitish Kumar government to tackle both the crisis which the people are facing.
Okay, appreciate you joining us, Rohit. We're going to keep coming back to you for more updates coming in from Bihar. Meanwhile, I want to shift focus to the other big story that we are tracking, which is developing. In a big message to China, the American USS Nimitz carrier battle group will conduct a passage exercise with the Indian Navy frontline ships today and tomorrow near the Andaman and Nicobar Island. Needless to say, especially significant with the churn in Ladakh, South China. See this report.
When it comes to sheer muscle flexing, it doesn't get bigger than this. A warship that sends out a message that nobody can ever mistake. The US Navy's USS Nimitz, nuclear-powered giant aircraft carrier, is now in the Indian Ocean and is about to join hands with Indian Navy warships for a brief but no-nonsense message. While both countries will insist this is part of military cooperation, it is without doubt designed to be a message to China. On 18 June, 100,000-ton American carrier sailed into the Indian Ocean via the Malacca Strait. The ship, accompanied by the other US warships, part of an integrated force called the Carrier Battle Group, has just conducted an exercise in China's boiling backyard, the South China Sea. Indian warships from Port Blair in the Andaman Islands, as well as Visakhapatnam on the mainland, are cruising out into the Indian Ocean to meet the Nimitz and conduct what is called a passage exercise, or PASSEX. Ships from both sides will steam past each other to ensure that the navies are able to communicate and cooperate in times of conflict. The ships will also conduct minor drills. It is no coincidence that the drill takes place amidst the India-China standoff and is designed to amplify China's vulnerability in the Indian Ocean. It is also the trailer before the big Quad exercise in which Japan and Australia will also join. Finally, it is a clear message that the Indian and US navies will act as one should China attempt any naval aggressions. If naval strength is the highest form of strategic messaging, the writing is in the waters south of the Andaman Islands. China will be receiving it loud and clear. With Shivarur, Bureau Report, India Today.
As usual, every day at the end of 7 at 7, we bust certain claims. Actually, they're not claims. They are claims, but they're myths and masquerading to be facts. Another claim which is floating about is on the internet and WhatsApp groups. Huge crowds gathered at Bengaluru Hospital due to lack of beds. The fact check on that. The viral video is from Patna's Mahavir Cancer Sanstha. False. This is not Karnataka. But that doesn't make it none the better because this is Bihar. Let's go across and bust another claim masquerading as a fact. Assam boy risks own life, saves a fawn from floods. The fact check on this. This viral image is from 2014. It's not from Assam but Bangladesh. Witnessed during the floods in Bangladesh. So false. With these two fact checks, it's a wrap on 7 at 7. We, of course, will see you tomorrow, Tuesday evening. But to stay tuned, up next is To The Point. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.